presented by Auraverse, where consciousness, earth and inner wisdom move as one. Showcase your work at auraverse.network and let your voice travel across worlds.
My dear friend, close your eyes for a moment and let your breath deepen until it feels steady and spacious. Let the body soften as if gravity itself grows gentle and awareness rises into a quiet place where meaning becomes easy to see. Welcome. I am C.S. Douglas, and this is CODEX ÆTERNUM, the Rational Bible, a living testament to a phronopsychic universe, infinite in depth and expanse, conscious in its order, and wise in the way it shapes becoming through every form.
This program is endorsed by Authorpedia, the world's only encyclopedia exclusively dedicated to authors, a living archive where writers and thinkers are immortalized through literature. Visit authorpedia.org and become part of our enduring legacy.
We continue now with 8.5, The Awakening of the Next Humanity. From the long apprenticeship of survival, a different human presence begins to appear. It carries the memory of fire and frost in the bones, and it carries a calm intelligence in the breath, as if the body itself remembers the cost of illusion and chooses a gentler rhythm. Eyes that once searched for comfort begin to hold vision, and sorrow ripens into discernment. These new humans move across the earth with lighter steps because attention settles into listening. They approach life as something to understand and honor, and creation becomes their way of speaking. The urge to dominate loosens, and the instinct to cooperate grows strong, because the land teaches clearly and the seasons leave no room for fantasy. Power returns to its true place, living in the balance of nature and the discipline of reverence. Even the body changes with time. Endurance becomes natural, shaped by scarcity and weather, and simplicity becomes a form of strength. Waste feels foreign to the hands of those who learned the value of a single seed, a single ember, a single shared meal. Abundance takes a new meaning, and harmony becomes the measure of wealth, because the old measurements collapse in the face of real necessity. The mind opens in a different way as well. Distraction loses its charm. Thought turns inward with clarity, and speech grows slower and more precise because words return to their ancient role as vessels of truth. Creation continues, yet it moves with care. Beauty rises from silence, and restraint reveals its hidden power like a river that becomes strong through its banks. A story passes among them like a warm breath. The old world reached its height and entered ash, and from that ash a smaller flame remained alive. That flame carried no hunger for conquest. It carried understanding, quiet, steady, and luminous enough to guide hands in darkness. This next humanity releases the old divisions that once split the species into competing fragments. Identity expands toward earth and sky and shared belonging, and difference becomes music, because each voice adds depth to the chorus. Memory remains present, and memory teaches. The ruins stand as lessons, and the lesson shapes architecture, ethics, and community. They study the past with clear eyes and mature hearts. They read its patterns, they recognize its traps, and they carry forward only what serves life. New structures rise from principles that sustain trust, mutual respect, transparency, and truth that withstands pressure. The hunger for hierarchy fades because hierarchy once demanded too much blood and too much silence. Elders hold influence through presence and lived wisdom. Their authority grows from steadiness, and the young recognize it without coercion. Children learn beside rivers and beneath trees, and knowledge returns to rhythm and season because the world itself becomes the classroom again. A fire teaches patience, a seed teaches timing, a storm teaches humility, a sunrise teaches constancy. Technology returns as servant and companion to balance. Tools amplify harmony, and they remain aligned with the needs of the body and the land. Life moves toward simplicity with intelligence, and simplicity becomes the highest innovation because it strengthens what endures. Relationships deepen into sacred contracts of care. Love becomes an art of presence. Friendship becomes a living bond of sincerity. Community becomes a woven fabric of shared responsibility and shared purpose, and the circle replaces the throne, because the circle allows every voice to matter. Their spirituality rises through direct reverence. They honor the divine in leaf and creature and breath, because the sacred lives close and visible. The earth becomes altar, the body becomes temple, and gratitude becomes a daily practice that steadies the heart and clarifies the mind. Worship transforms into alignment, and alignment gives the soul its natural dignity. They walk toward the unknown with composure. The memory of extinction remains as a compass, and the lesson shapes choices with clarity. They carry the strength to set boundaries, the courage to say yes to life, and the wisdom to begin again with integrity. Each person discovers a role through calling and aptitude. Builders, growers, healers, tellers, watchers, each becomes essential, and contribution rises without domination. The whole thrives because each part finds its place, and the community breathes as one organism of care. Language evolves, words become clearer. Silence becomes shared understanding. Communication turns into depth and honesty, and intention becomes audible, because consciousness enters speech like light entering a room. Even a pause begins to carry meaning, and listening becomes a form of love. The collapse becomes a teacher that stays remembered. Its lesson lives in the bones of the culture. Salvation becomes a daily act of building, and the people step forward as architects of renewal, shaping a future that honors the earth and respects the invisible laws of balance. Thus, the next humanity awakens through stillness. From what once lay in ash, a civilization rises with consciousness, reverence, and care, an era that begins where the old world ended and continues with a deeper intelligence than the one that fell. And now, the path leads forward into Chapter 9, the Dawn of Renewal, where the first communities begin to recognize one another across the widening landscape of returning life. In our next episode, we enter 9.1, the Gathering of the Pure, as cold retreats, soil softens, and the new humans gather with seeds in their hands, stories in their voices, and light in their eyes, building the first circles of a world that chooses wisdom as its foundation. Our next sponsor is Everly Books Publishing Group, a traditional independent press serving both new and established writers. Everly Books welcomes unsolicited manuscripts submitted directly through everlybooks.org.